Well, it's beginning to look like we might actually get some changes to the 2025 Honda Goldwing.
And welcome to yet another episode of Crown and Comments with your host and resident Goldwing guru, the one, the only, Cruiseman. Brought to you by Cruiseman's Garage Honda Goldwing Maintenance Videos.
Thank you, Don, for that introduction, and welcome back, everybody, to Crown and Comments January 2025. This is the first episode of Crown and Comments this year, and very excited. I'm trying to get this out before the 20th because we've got the national championship game coming up on the 20th, plus the presidential inauguration. And for those of you that might be new to the show, let me tell you a little bit about it. I get together with everybody once a month, and this is pretty loose, fast and loose show. So it's mostly motorcycle related. Sometimes I get off a little off topic. I've got my favorite beverage, Crown Royal, adult beverage, I should say. And I invite you to get your favorite beverage, whatever it is, sit back and relax and just enjoy the show. Don't take anything I say too seriously. And let's get started. I've got my notes. I got my MacBook Pro sitting over here with all my comments that I've picked out to address. What I do is I go through and I pick out some of your comments, either from emails or Facebook, YouTube, and then I kind of respond to them. So let me tell you a little bit about, I have been saying all along, I didn't expect to see any changes in this 2025 Honda Goldwing other than maybe some, color changes, some different colors, a 50th anniversary badge, something like that. However, I just saw a tease video from Honda that makes me wonder. Let's take a look at it. So what's interesting about this video is it goes through every generation of Honda Goldwings, and including the current generation next to the last, and then it shows the 50th anniversary edition under a motorcycle cover, which they're not revealing what it is. If there were no major changes coming, I don't know why they would put it under a motorcycle cover if all they're going to do is change the colors. So I don't know. I have no inside information. I'm just saying it looks a little suspicious to me. The other thing that might let me believe there are some changes coming to the 2025 Honda Goldwing is that they've taken so long to announce it. Normally, we get an announcement from Honda in November on what the next year's Goldwing is going to be, and they've waited until, I'd say, probably February. It's already past the middle of January. So, who knows? I am in the second block. I'm going to talk about what my wish list is for the next generation Goldwing. So if there is a new generation of Goldwing coming soon in the next couple of months, it'll be interesting to see how many of my wish list items are in that new generation, if there is a new generation. We just don't know yet. Okay, I just this week celebrated a birthday a couple days ago, and just thought I'd let you know, for some of you that maybe not know that, not that it's important, other than that's probably why I haven't put out very many videos this week. The next thing I want to talk about is, and this is just the news items, I'm just trying to catch you up on the recent news, and that is, will Harley Davidson, are they going to survive? I'm beginning to wonder. They are not doing well. Ever since the little woke incident that happened a few months ago, and I don't know if they fully recovered from that. I also heard through the grapevine that Duluth, Minnesota, Duluth Harley-Davidson is closing its doors after 73 years. They're closing their doors. You know, Harley is very hard on their dealers, I think, from what I've heard. They made these dealers spend millions of dollars upgrading their showrooms. They have to carry tons of inventory. I just don't know how the dealers make any money. And Harley doesn't even offer any kind of co-op advertising program for their dealers. You know, if you're a Honda Powersport, if you're a Powerhouse dealer, Honda does provide some co-op advertising dollars. So for example, let's say that DFW Honda or Southern Honda Powersports wants to put a billboard out on the highway. Maybe that billboard costs $2,000 a month. Who knows? $5,000 could be. I don't know. Who knows how much it is? Honda will actually co-op some of that cost for a Powerhouse dealer, and it depends on what level they are as to what percentage Honda pays. But at least they get some compensation from Honda and some co-op dollars for marketing Honda's products. Harley-Davidson, from what I've been told by a dealer, they do not get any co-op dollars. So if a Harley dealer runs an ad out on the highway, they got to pay for it out of their pocket. Harley's not co-oping any of that, which I find really hard to believe. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Harley-Davidson is going to survive? I think there's going to be several companies go out of business. Big companies go out of business this year. You know, Nissan is on the chopping block. They're not looking very good. They may have to merge with Honda just to stay alive. I don't know what Honda gets out of that deal, honestly. But it's a possible merger. I just think the last 4 years have been so disastrous. I'm just not confident. I don't think we've seen all of the destruction that is going to come from the last 4 years. I think 99-cent, some of those 99-cent stores are going under. I heard that the Container Store is filing bankruptcy. They're going under. So I think, like I say, it's just been a rough 3 or 4 years. And I think, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while to get this economy back up and humming again. And I think it's going to take at least a year, maybe more. I don't know. What do you think? Will Harley survive? Are they going to make it? Or will the government end up bailing them out? Is Trump going to bail out Harley-Davidson? I don't know. Okay. In the next thing in the news is I have revamped some of the things I'm doing in my videos. You'll notice in some of my most recent videos, I'm getting people to register for my newsletter. And some of those free PDFs, like the PDF on the emergency start procedure or the DCT initialization. So we have a new newsletter sign-up form that you can sign up for my email newsletter, and we're going to be doing more emails this year. So when I have the opportunity to get deals with vendors where they might be able to offer my viewers a special deal, maybe a discount, something like that, I'm going to make you aware of that through email. I do this in videos, but you may miss a video. You may not watch every video I put out. I will only send you information that's motorcycle related. I'm not going to spam you. You can unsubscribe. It's very easy to unsubscribe. On every email down at the bottom, there's an unsubscribe link. But I would encourage you, if you haven't done so already, go to the link and I'll put it on the screen and in the description of this video. And please sign up for my email newsletter. Now, it doesn't cost anything, obviously. You can unsubscribe at any time. All I ask for is your name and your email address. Next thing on the news is this, still been a lot of talk about this Chinese knockoff, this, I can't remember what it's called, this new big motorcycle that looks kind of like a Goldwing knockoff. It looks massive. The motorcycle looks gigantic. And a lot of people ask me about this. I don't know anything about it other than it looks interesting. It looks nice. I don't know that it'll be coming to North America anytime soon. I think it'll probably be in Asia and maybe Europe, but I don't think it's going to be coming to North America anytime soon. But, you know, the good thing is for us, as many of my viewers are Honda Goldwing owners, I'd say probably 70% own a Goldwing. And I think the good news for us is competition's always good. I think Honda, I'm sure, is looking at this and they're saying, uh-oh, here comes somebody. Because, you know, Honda's car division is losing out big time to the Chinese car makers. So if the Honda Powersports, they see competition, and there's other Chinese motorcycle companies too that are cutting into the market share for some of these more mainstream motorcycle brands. So not so much in the US, but in Europe and in Asia and in these other countries. So I think it's good. I think it's going to hopefully force Honda to make more improvements, to be more competitive, to get off their laurels and do a little more with the Goldwing. So we're going to be the beneficiaries of that. The next thing I want to bring up is I got an email from one of my viewers talking about the cost to replace an air filter, and he was quoted well over $600 to replace the air filter in his Honda Goldwing. It's I don't know if it's 2022, 2021, somewhere in there. Doesn't matter, they're all the same. And I was kind of shocked. I didn't know that dealers were charging that much to change an air filter. Now, many of you remember the video I did a while back where I talked about Mark, a friend of mine, who took his bike in for an 800-mile service, 8,000-mile service, and ended up spending almost $1,000 by the time it was all said and done. I use that as an example to show in one of my videos. So what I'm asking for is I'm asking for your help. If you have an invoice for any service done on your Honda Goldwing, whether it's a brake job, radiator flush, oil change, I don't care what it is. If you've got a invoice that you can copy and send me a copy of that, that will really help me because I do my own maintenance. So a lot of times, for years, I haven't taken my bike in for maintenance. So I lose touch with how much this stuff costs. And it will be good information that I can use in a video to talk to other people about. And so if you do, I'll block out your name. I won't mention your name. I won't mention the dealer's name. I just want to see a legitimate invoice of what these dealers are charging for service. So you can send those emails to info@cruisemansgarage.com. It'd be much, much appreciated. And the last news item I'm going to talk about before I get into the 2025 Goldwing in depth and my wish list is I have a new YouTube channel. I just launched this week. A lot of you in the past have complained about sometimes I put videos on this channel that are not necessarily motorcycle oriented. And it can be confusing, or maybe you're just not interested in those topics. For example, recently I built a table for my garage. I assembled a table and I did a video of that. In the past, I've done videos on a variety of topics. Maybe I'm reviewing a power supply, a portable power supply. And a lot of people, I get criticism. I get a lot of people saying, that really, I come here for motorcycle content. So I thought what I'll do is I'll start another channel. I'm not making a big deal of this channel other than I would like to get some subscribers for that channel. I would like it to, succeed. So if you have an opportunity to subscribe to my new channel, it is at Cruiseman Fixes Stuff. So I'll put a link in the description of this video. I'll put it on the screen. If you'll go over to that channel and just subscribe if you're interested. If not, no big deal. And I've already put 2 or 3 videos up there. And I'm going to start moving some of these videos from this channel over to that channel because that way this channel will be more motorcycle. It'll be 100% motorcycle focused. No more of this off the wall stuff. If I'm fixing something around the house, or maybe I'm assembling a table, or maybe I'm retrofitting some LED lights around the house, it really has nothing to do with motorcycles. So that's why I've started this new channel. I'd appreciate you supporting it. Don't forget, I also have my Cruise Report channel at Cruise Report. If you're interested in cruising, go over there and subscribe to that channel as well. Thank you for your support. Okay, when we come back, I'm going to give you my wish list of what I hope the next generation Honda Goldwing has, and then we'll just see. If there is a new generation coming, we'll just see if any of my stuff comes true. I'll see you right after this. Hey everybody, welcome back to Crown and Comments, January 2025. Okay. I've already told you why I think there's a possibility we're going to see some changes in the 2025 Honda Goldwing. Before anybody asks, I know I'll get questions on this. I have no inside information. All I know is when I saw that video, it made me think to myself, why would they make a video where they put a Goldwing under a motorcycle cover and they put it right next to the current generation Honda Goldwing? It's going to look stupid if they take the cover off and it looks exactly like the one next to it. That doesn't make sense. So it makes me think we might get some changes. Maybe styling changes. I'm pretty happy with the styling of the current Goldwing, but anything can be improved or updated. So let me tell you what I think the next generation could have, and in my opinion, should have. And I'm saying this to kind of keep up with the current market, what some of the other competitors in the big touring bike market have. Number one is a touchscreen. I don't care about a touchscreen, but I think it's a big marketing thing. I think a lot of people want a touchscreen, and I think it would be a big advantage for Honda to have a touchscreen. Very nice, all color, and I'm not so sure they wouldn't go with an all digital dash like all the cars are going with now. Again, that is not a big deal to me, because I just see it as something else to go wrong, and something that's very expensive to replace if it does go wrong. But from a marketing standpoint, it's going to look cool in videos and pictures, and I'm sure Honda may be considering that. I don't know. A digital speedometer as part of that. I like the way the Indian has it where you can customize the dash. You can move elements around. You can have different configurations. You can add these little widgets. So if you want to see your engine temperature, if you want to see maybe the elevation, maybe you want to see your battery condition, you can have all these little things that you can move around on the screen. I think that would be a really cool thing. And also the ability to see the front and rear tire pressure live on the screen at the same time without having to take your eyes off the handlebars to hit a switch. I think Honda should really focus on the rider being able to keep his hands on the handlebars, not have to take his eyes off the road to look down, to look for a switch, look for a button. To do that, I think I've been pushing for this for a long time. I think it'd be really, really cool if Honda would have the entire computer system voice activated, like a Siri type system with CarPlay, where you can actually talk to the bike and tell it what you want to see on the screen. So you could maybe push a button. Of course, you'll have to have a Bluetooth headset to do this, but you could push a button and you could say, "Hey Honda, how many miles to the next gas station?" Or, "Hey Honda, take me to the next gas station," assuming they're going to have built-in navigation. So to me, voice activation would be a cool thing. It's not a deal killer if they don't have it for me, but I think it would be neat. Obviously, they need to completely rethink how they do the emergency start procedure. It's way too complicated, having to go through and enter the code the way you have to do with the handlebars. I think it'd be a much better if you just set up your own 4 or 6 digit code, and to start the bike, you go into a certain screen and you could enter that code and it would start the bike. I think they should include HomeLink in the Goldwing. I think it should be just an included accessory, or at least make it modular so that the switches are already installed and all you have to do is plug something in somewhere to make Homelink work, or maybe download a code from Honda. Maybe you pay for it, but it's built into the ECU or something so that it's not so complicated. It's very complicated to install Homelink. I think a lockable center pocket is really something that would be good, because people keep their cell phone in that center pocket, or maybe they'll rearrange how they store the cell phone. I think wireless CarPlay is a must in this day and age. I'm sure Honda can make it work. Lexus can't make it work on my new Lexus, but I'm sure Honda can make it work. They make CarPlay work, and even the Carlin kit wireless CarPlay adapter seems to work. Works fine for me. Of course, adaptive cruise control is something everybody, or a lot of people, have been asking for. Again, that's not a deal killer for me, but I can see why a lot of people want and expect it, because Ducati and I think BMW and a couple of other brands may have adaptive cruise control already. So there's no reason why the Honda Goldwing, this is the flagship touring bike for the industry, not just for Honda, but for the industry. This is the motorcycle that every manufacturer should be wanting to copy. Obviously, improved AM, FM, they need to really, I don't know if it's a better antenna, better tuner, whatever, but the AM, FM reception on the Honda Goldwing is terrible. Let's improve it. How about blind spot monitoring? Why don't we have blind spot monitoring built in to the Honda Goldwing? Be very, very, I'm not going to say it'd be easy for Honda to do, but it is something they could do, and it is a safety item, and they could build those lights into the mirrors so that it really looks custom and OEM and just really, really nice. I think that would be a very, very cool feature. Let's get rid of the electronic, in fact, there's a couple of things I'd get rid of. I'd get rid of that, the way you have to open the gas lid to get to the gas cap. That's way too complicated. It depends on electronics. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think, as I think Max McAllister said in one of his videos, having gasoline stolen out of a motorcycle is not a big issue. I just don't think it's a big problem. They're solving a problem that doesn't exist. It's a solution without a problem. So let's get away from that, simplify that, and get rid of all these cables that are unnecessary for opening the left saddlebag, and then you open the right saddlebag, then you can pull the cable to open the trunk. If you simplify the emergency start procedure, that kind of all takes care of itself, and it removes a lot of complexity that's not necessary on the bike. So that would be my take. I hope there's certain things I hope Honda doesn't implement in the new Goldwing, like auto start stop. We have it on this new Lexus. I absolutely hate it. Everybody pretty much hates auto start stop. It's not something customers asked for. I understand why they do it. They do it for emissions and all that, but it's a very, very complicated system. It requires a completely different, well, on a car, it requires a completely different type of starter. It requires a different type of battery, more expensive, of course. So I don't know how it would work on a Goldwing. I think some of the Goldwings up in Canada, maybe Europe, have auto start stop. And if you are going to put auto start stop on the Goldwing, at least give us the ability to turn it off and leave it off, not where you have to turn it off every time you start the bike. I don't know. You tell me what you think in the comments. I hate auto start stop. I don't want to come to a stoplight and have my motorcycle engine die. That's just me. The other thing I wish they would improve is the parking brake on the DCT model. I wish the transmission had a park, that you could put it into park, so that when you turn the bike off, it basically locks the transmission. Then you wouldn't even have to have a parking brake. Maybe you'd still want a parking brake, but it wouldn't be like your motorcycle would just roll off the kickstand. So I'm not sure why they can't have a park, lock the transmission, when the motorcycle comes to a stop, like you do in a car. I mean, there's cars. The Corvette has dual clutch transmission. It's got park. So how come a Goldwing doesn't? Maybe it's weight. I don't know. Maybe it's complexity. I really don't know. But anyway, that's my wish list for the new generation Honda Goldwing. As far as the engine or power, I'm okay with it the way it is. If they decide to go with a more powerful engine or more horsepower, I know a lot of guys would like that. I've always been, to me, the Goldwing has more power than I use anyway, so I'm not a hot rodder. I would like to have the DCT, though, remember the last ride mode that you were in, so that you don't have to, it doesn't always default to the tour mode. If you go into sport mode, for example, or eco mode, the next time you start the bike, it would just default to the last mode you were in. I think that would be nice. I'd also like to be able to modify or have a custom setting like they do on the NC750X, and I think even the Africa Twin has that, where you can create a ride mode and you can adjust the engine braking, the power, and all of the other components that go, throttle response and things like that. So let me know in the comments down below what's part of your wish list for a 2025 or next generation Goldwing. Doesn't have to be 2025. I think some other colors would be interesting too, and I wish they'd go back to offer a model with some chrome pipes, maybe some chrome accents on the engine. Don't know if that's going to happen or not. We talked about that in a previous video. Okay, when we come back, your comments, my responses, that's coming up right after this. Hey everybody, welcome back to Crown and Comments, January 2025. And now it's time for me to read through some of the comments that you guys have put on my YouTube channel or you've emailed me. And the first one is from Michael Wood, and it's regarding the review of speed bleeders. He says it's kind of cold in Georgia, so I have just got around to installing the speed bleeders. Have you thought about putting nitrogen in motorcycle tires? Looked on Google, and it seemed to be about the same advantages and disadvantages as car tires. Call me crazy. I don't think there's a big advantage. I just don't. I kind of almost think nitrogen in tires is a gimmick. First of all, if you put nitrogen in your tires, as soon as you add any air to that tire, it completely defeats the nitrogen that's in there. It neutralizes the nitrogen. And I think our air, compressed air, is probably already like, I don't know, it's a 80 or 90% nitrogen to begin with. What we breathe, is a lot of it is nitrogen to begin with, right? Let me look. I'm going to look it up real quick. 78%. And now that's from Google. The percentage of nitrogen in the air is approximately 78%. So you're talking about going from 78% to 100%, so you're only talking about 22%. I know they say it's an advantage. Here's the big problem, especially on a motorcycle. I add air constantly to my motorcycle tires. I'd say every 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, I'm putting air in. I don't want to have to take the bike somewhere that has nitrogen to fill it up with air. I don't put air in my car tires that often, but I do my motorcycle. So it, to me, is more of a convenience thing. I don't think you're going to get any more tire life noticeably. You're not going to get better mileage. I don't think it, I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Do you use nitrogen, pure nitrogen, in your motorcycle tires? I don't. I never have, and I don't plan to. That's just me. Okay? Okay, the next one is from Mitch, and he says, the EU has banned chrome. Now, this is in response to my recent video where I talked about why Honda is not using chrome. He says the EU has banned chrome. It will not be present on vehicles sold in the EU starting now, this year. You won't see chrome on anything marketed in multiple countries. If they span the products into the EU, keep up the good work. Yeah, I mean, a like I said in that video, the environmental movement has decided this is another one of those things that we don't get to have. If they get their way, you won't have chrome. You won't be able to eat beef. You won't be able to eat chicken because killing the chicken is cruel. That's not the environmentalists. That's just more the PETA people. I don't know. Everything that we enjoy, they find a way to come in and crap on it and say, no, that's bad for the planet, or it's bad for animals, or just like the leather in my Lexus is not leather. They kind of call it leather sometimes, but it's not. It's what they call New Lux. I call it No Lux. It's a fake leather, but it's not really leather, okay? It just looks like leather, but it doesn't have the same feel. It's not luxury. It's not premium. You can buy a Hyundai that has real leather, for God's sake. So what the hell's up with Lexus? Okay, let's go on to the next question. Thank you, Mitch, for that. Harley Bob says, hi, Cruiseman. Do 2025 Honda Goldwing come with Android Auto? Yeah, well, we don't have the 2025 yet, but 2018 through 2024 has Android Auto, so I would assume that would continue into 2025, yes. I don't use Android Auto, I have an iPhone, but yes, you can use Android Auto with the current Honda Goldwing. This is a long one from, I don't know, Messer Pilot something. Why is Honda paint so cheaply done? It's just a cover coat. My GWDCT blue is so thin it's crazy. Thanks and agree with the 20th of the month. Go DJT, I guess Donald J. Trump. Okay. Now, Dale answered this better than I can because Dale, a friend of mine, by the way, Dale, you know Dale, his Africa twin. Now, Dale was the paint and body manager for the Lexus dealer here locally, one of the Lexus dealers. And he responded to this, and I'm going to read what Dale said. Modern paints are high solids, allowing thin coats. It's more scratch resistant than alkyd enamel used in years past, and vast improvement over lacquers once used. The biggest investment in vehicle manufacturing is in the paint department, using more expensive equipment, real estate, and energy costs. Paint durability is better now than ever. Once upon a time, paint lasted just a few years. 7 years now is a standard paint goal. I'll bet your Honda will outlast that. There are even a couple of manufacturers who have used self-healing clear coats. I think Kawasaki tried that. It's just really an expensive process that still isn't perfect. Okay, thank you, Dale, for answering that question. There's also some things you can do. Ceramic coat your paint that has additional UV protection. Obviously, if you're going to keep your motorcycle outside, make sure you put a cover on it. UV is the killer of paint and clear coat. It will just destroy it. So keeping that paint out of the sun, out of the UV rays, use a good motorcycle cover, or better yet, keep it in a garage or parking garage where you can keep it from getting those type of contaminations. Okay, let's go on to Colonel Clink. Where do you get the insulation for your garage door? I think some of you have seen my garage door in my videos. At the time I got it on Amazon. It was made by Owens Corning. I don't think they sell it anymore. I haven't seen it in a while. I looked for it and couldn't find it. There's other companies that make garage door insulation though. So just look on Amazon under garage door insulation or Google it. I'm sure you'll come up with something. Grumpy Old Man said, no chrome, no red meat, no water to put out the fire. Okay. I think he's referring to the idiocy of the government officials in California that have completely abandoned their responsibility by not managing their forests properly. You know, this mostly happens in California. It happens in other places sometimes, but not like California. I mean, come on, guys. Clear out the underbrush. have water in your reservoirs. Sorry, I could get off on a tangent. I'm not in the mood tonight. Banjo Benson. I'm going to get my 018 in for both recalls soon. When they have it apart, is that a good time to have the air filter changed also? If so, I'm hoping there would be no additional charges since it's already stripped down. There will be additional charges because there's still some other parts that have to come off the bike to make the air filter change. You've got a lot of the parts off, like the top shelter, the side, the middle cowls, but you still have to remove the frame that holds the center pocket or the airbag. If you have an airbag, you still have to remove that. Plus you have to remove the air filter lid, the snorkels. There's probably an additional, I'm just guessing. I know I could do it in an hour, but there's probably an additional hour's worth, maybe hour and a half of labor involved after you've got the top shelter off and everything else. Everything else is off, even the gas tank's out, for God's sakes. But the air filter sits in front of the gas tank, and there are structures there that have to be removed. You have to remove the center panel switch. You know, yes, there will be an expense, a cost, an additional cost, but it should be less expensive than if you just took your bike in to get an air filter done. That's why I want these invoices from you guys to see what are dealers charging for these service items now. I think it'd be real helpful to know. Okay, let's see. John Massey. Hi, Cruiseman. North Georgia here. We got about 3 inches of the white stuff. Also, a thanks to you and your video series. I just completed my first Goldwing oil change. It was made so easy by your video series. Thanks again. Oh, John, well, thank you. I'm glad they helped. You probably saved yourself $150 of labor or more. Maybe $200. I don't know. You guys let me know what they're charging now for an oil change. And but you're already started to get your money back on those videos by doing it yourself. Let's see. F6B Adventures, Adden said, on that mat, is it screen printed or stitched in that color? He's talking about the mat in my garage that Dale gave me. Has my logo on it, and the motorcycle sits on that mat now. It's a decorative thing. Pretty cool, actually, if you haven't seen it. It's either screen printed or dye sub printed. I'm not sure which. It's certainly not stitched. It's not that high quality, but it's very nice. It's very nicely done. Very good resolution. I'm surprised. So I'm assuming it's a dye sub process or screen. I doubt if it's screen printing. It's probably dye sublimation. They have some kind of large printer that prints these things out. Tom Mitchell said, is it possible that one of you has had his ECM flashed and the other bike hasn't? Now, this is a comment on our Colorado road trip when I did the review of the Goldwing after that road trip. And I talked about how Robert was getting 4 to 5 miles per gallon better fuel mileage than I was on my bike. And we were riding pretty much exactly the same. Our riding style is almost identical. We were riding the same speed, same elevation. Everything's the same, but yet he was getting 4 to 5 miles per gallon more. And this gentleman is asking, did one of us have the ECM flashed? No. We both have the same factory OEM ECM. So it's still a mystery to me why this 2024 Goldwing does not get better gas mileage. Let's see. Let me go to Danny Kimber. I love how the podcast went. This is the podcast I did with Kyle from Southern Honda Powersports. This is many months ago. I love how the podcast went with all the questions that you asked that a lot of us wanted to know the answers to. The one thing I was wondering is that since they are the biggest Goldwing dealer in the U.S., I wonder if Honda will listen to them when it comes to what customers want on the new Goldwing. I don't know. You would assume so. If they're that big of a dealership, you would think they would probably have the ear of somebody at American Honda, but I don't know. I can't answer that. Honda's a big company. I mean, and a lot of this stuff, these decisions are made out of Japan, not necessarily American Honda in the U.S., and I don't know what the communication is between American Honda and Honda of Japan corporate, who knows? That's a mystery. Okay, last one from Keith Palmer. Thank you, Cruiseman. I just reached out to Kayla Hart at Blue Ridge Motorsports or Powersports. I got the 5-year extended plan with roadside for my 2022 for $770. Much appreciated. He saved $422. Well, great, Keith. Glad it worked out for you. I'm getting ready to redo the video on extended warranties. I'm trying to get some new information in about what's available now. So hopefully within the relatively near future, I should have a new video out on I'm going to update that video, talk about extended warranties. Okay, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Don't forget to register for my newsletter. Don't forget to check out my new YouTube channel, Cruiseman Fixes Stuff. And I will see you on the next Crown and Comments. Until then, remember what I always say, ride often, but ride safe.